Hey everyone, it's NekoYasha12 here again. Second video for the TTS, like I promised. Sorry it's taken a while. And that light is really bright. Sorry for the bright light. It's right there. Can't really do much, but as promised, I will answer some questions that people have asked. Unfortunately, though, there's only been 3 people who have actually asked any questions. And I lied. 2 people. One person asked 2 things. So I actually went around my hometown and just people who didn't know me randomly started talking to them, asked them questions about Tourette's, and then after I was done talking to them, I asked them, what would you want to know about it or stuff like that. And I have a few extra questions that they asked, which will remain unanimous. You know the word. But 1, 2, and 3 are actually someone. But 4 through 11, no name. I'll just state the question. So here we go. First question is from HMGMishy from DeviantArt. Do Tourette's hurt? Like, do certain tics, like the ones you have with your voice, cause any damage to your vocal cords or anything? No, it doesn't cause any damage. I guess it would be safe to say that I've gotten used to it over time. That doesn't hurt my throat as much, but it does still cause strain on my throat. But it does still cause strain on my throat. If I do like a high-pitched squeak for too often, it has rendered my throat sore to the point I would speak I can't talk right now. I'm sorry, guys. It's 5:30 in the morning. Yeah, I would talk raspy for the next couple days. Question 2 from CelticReject here on YouTube. Do you find that... Okay, car. Do you find that stimulants such as coffee make the Tourette's worse? Honestly, that's kind of iffy. For me personally, coffee actually mellows me down. I get tired after drinking it. Stuff like Mountain Dew and Volt, very high in caffeine, I actually get hyper. But I talk so fast on it that I barely tick at all. But the downside is I talk so fast that sometimes people can't understand me, and I tend to venture on different topics that make absolutely no sense. So to answer your question, CelticReject, no. Coffee does not mess with my tics, and neither does regular caffeine. It actually, in a weird sense, helps me. Okay, I'm sorry guys, this light is just really, really bright and like reflective, so I'm gonna move it back here. Hopefully my son doesn't eat it. That's yeah. You still can't really see me. Oh well, sorry guys, deal with the brightness. Alrighty. Again, from CelticReject, like I said, number 3. Have you ever tried relaxation methods like medication to lessen the Tourette's? Yes, I was diagnosed in 2000 and until 2010, so for a decade, I went through a series of medication cocktails. Some helped, but after a while, my body got used to it and didn't work. And some caused severe and horrible side effects. Like one caused me to bleed through my nose till it turned powder pink. Another kind of drugged me to an extent where I was a walking zombie. Another made me gain a lot of weight that I'm still trying to get rid of. And the last one I had caused heart palpitation. And I've had 3 minor heart attacks since then. But ever since 2010, no, I have not taken any medication, and some medication helps to an extent, but the long-term or short-term consequences or side effects aren't worth the risk. So no, to answer that question. But I do multiple relaxing methods like reading, drawing, and writing. Now on to the questions that are no name. Is it troublesome to do activities such as reading, writing, drawing? Yes, it's very troublesome. When I draw, I hold a pen like this, but when I tick, this finger will scrape against it and actually start chafing and ripping the skin off to the point it will actually bleed. So writing and drawing, anything with a writing implement, if I do it for too long, it does hurt. Reading, yes, I have difficulty reading. Not just trying to read big words and stuff like that. In general, when I read out loud, as you can probably see from the question I'm reading, I seem to repeat words or pause or whatnot, and that's very frustrating. And I can no longer read to myself or in my head. It's like a force that I have to read out loud, and it's very irritating. But I still enjoy it, nonetheless. Question 5. Do you get picked on at school because of your Tourette's? Yes, I used to get horribly picked on, to the point I actually, in elementary, I had people throwing sticks and stones at me, which resulted in several bruises and cuts. You know when people say sticks and stones may break my bones? Well, yeah, and the words hurt, so that saying doesn't really apply to me. I'd be called names, I'd be teased. In high school, I'd go down the hall and people would imitate my tics to make fun of me. So yeah, I was bullied, I was picked on, I was all that because I was different. I was a freak. Now though, I'm in college and no one really bothers me. I mean, they look and they go, whoa, what was that? Or ask, are you okay? Or what's wrong? And I tell them and they're fine with it. Or they're just like, oh, okay, whatever. So college is definitely a lot more tolerable. There's the few newbies in college that are just like, ooh, she's a freak. What's wrong with her? But the older ones, normally, they don't care. Question 6. How does your family feel about you having Tourette's? And is there anyone else in your family with it, since it's genetic? At first, when my tics first started, before they knew what the heck it was, my family was a lot like everyone else at the start. They would question me, give me weird looks, get angry with me, be like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this?" And yeah, they would belittle me a bit because they thought I was just a child doing it to get attention. But once we found out what it was, that I had Tourette's and why I was doing what I was doing, they immediately apologized, and I have to say, if it wasn't for my family's support and always being there for me, I probably wouldn't be here today. Yeah. I love... I owe a big debt of gratitude to my family for being there for me when I really, really needed someone there. So they stood up for me. They were always there for me. And they still are. But at the beginning, because they didn't know what it was, they thought I was a child just acting out. So they treated me like everyone else did for a little bit, minus the abuse. They didn't abuse me, but yeah, they were like any other parent or sibling or family member that would reprimand a child around 7, 8 that was making loud noises, banging on the walls, jumping up and down and squealing and not knowing why you're doing this. But now it's fine. To my knowledge, no one else in my family before me has Tourette's. We thought it might have been from my father's side, but after my aunt had my cousin Angel, it's been revealed that it is indeed on my side, my mother's side of the family, because my cousin has Tourette's. So my mother and I are going to do some research into our family history to see if there's any cases in the past if anyone did have Tourette's. So the moment I find that out, I will inform you lovely people about that information. Number 7. Have your tics ever put you in dangerous situations? Yes. Oh dear God. Yes. I don't know how many times I can say yes to this. This is actually a common question people ask me, but when I tell them, they seem to become very uncomfortable after. But some minor tales. I had a phase in my life where I'd stop walking and slam my knees together, and I often, for some reason, would do this quite frequently in the middle of busy roads, like in Boston or New York. Yeah, very dangerous. I had a couple times where I'd be at the edge of something, whether a cliff, the last step, the border of a platform that's in the middle of the ocean, you name it, that I'd stand